Hi friends, my name is Krishna. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you got an opportunity to go through my previous videos on reconciliations. I already uploaded two videos, reconciliation part 1, reconciliation part 2, and I also uploaded part 2b just to clarify some of the doubts raised by a few people. In today's video, I'm going to talk about again on reconciliations part 3. You might be thinking, Krishna, for every video you are uploading about only reconciliations. When are you going to talk about other topics? Friends, please remember, unless I complete the reconciliation part, I do not want to move on to other topics, because if I move on to the other topics, the continuity will be missed. You need to first understand end-to-end in reconciliations. Then this series will be completed, and then we can move on to the other topics. Please bear with me for maybe another couple of videos on reconciliations. Then we will definitely talk about other topics. Right? So let us start. So in today's video, I am going to talk about the importance of the backup papers. Because while preparing the reconciliation, backup papers plays a vital role, right? So what is the importance of backup paper here? Any transaction you post in our respective ERP should have a backup paper attached to that. Suppose if I post prepaid entry, right? The prepaid entry should have a calculations on what basis you calculated, how you posted the journal entry, should have a backup paper attached to the journal entry, and you should have posted, right? So without backup paper, without any base, without any evidence, you are not supposed to post any journal entry into the books of accounts. You have to have the backup paper. Even if you talk about invoice processing, when you process an invoice, what is your backup paper? Invoice copy is your backup. Right. Similarly, any journal entry you post, you should have appropriate backup paper attached to that. Right? But while preparing the reconciliation, how this backup paper is going to play a vital role? Because as an auditor, for example, tomorrow while reviewing the reconciliation, I will definitely ask for the backup paper. On what basis you posted this journal entry? Can you show me the evidence? Right? So you should have the backup paper attached to that reconciliation, and whenever auditors are requesting for the backup paper, you don't require to search for that. Your reconciliation will provide that backup paper for them. They just go and click on that backup paper and they get to see, oh, this is the basis for posting this journal entry. And as long as they are satisfied, they are convinced with the backup paper attached to that particular line item, that's well and good, right? So backup papers plays a very important role while preparing the reconciliations, right? What kind of backup paper I need to attach? Why I'm asking this question is that backup paper should be an independent source of GL being reconciled. What do you mean by independent source of GL being reconciled? I've seen some of the companies, they prepare bank reconciliation, right? They attach the GL screenshot of the bank. Is it the backup paper for that? What is the backup paper for bank account? Bank statement will be the backup paper for the bank account, right? Your bank statement, whatever it shows, the balance should match with your bank account maintained in your books of accounts, right? That should be the independent source of the GL. So you cannot attach the SAP screenshot or Oracle screenshot or whatever be the ERP you follow as a backup paper to that. Your bank statement will be considered as independent source of the GL account, and you need to attach that as a backup paper. Right? Similarly, for prepaid schedule. Within this prepaid schedule, you might have 10 line items, 15 line items, 100 line items. Each line item will have an invoice copy, right? For example, one invoice, the amortization period is 10 months, right? So you need to take that amount from the invoice and allocate that amount to next 10 months. You should have prepared that in your allocation schedule, prepaid allocation schedule, right? So when you are preparing the prepayment schedule, you have to attach invoice copy which talks about amortization to each line item. That will be considered as the backup paper. You cannot attach simple GL screenshot for prepaid and say, yeah, I attached the backup paper. No, nobody is going to accept it. And you cannot go and attach that. There are some companies where they attach GL screenshots or trial balance screenshot. What do you mean by trial balance? Trial balance is an extraction of GL balances, right? What is the point in attaching trial balance as backup paper? Your backup paper should be an independent source of that GL account. That should be attached to the respective line item you posted. Right. Next question. Backup paper should be attached to the respective GL reconciliation line item wise. Fine. Again the question. Do I need to attach the backup paper for each line item? Right? It all depends on again your reconciliation policy. For example, if your reconciliation policy says my threshold limit is 100K, you don't require to attach backup paper for less than 100K transactions, because your policy very clearly says less than 100K you don't require to attach any backup paper to the reconciliation, because that is the threshold you defined in your reconciliation policy. You can attach backup papers only for those line items have 100K and above value. Does it mean that you don't require to attach any backup papers for less than 100K? Sorry, that is not I meant. You don't require to attach that as a backup paper to the reconciliation. But tomorrow if there is a transaction posted for 50K, you shouldn't have attached that as a backup paper in our reconciliation. Auditor might come back and say, boss, I need a backup paper for this 50K. He has every right to ask that question, right? And you have to provide the backup paper. No, my reconciliation policy says subject to 100K, I attach the backup paper. So I never maintained backup paper for this 50K. So no, I don't have backup. You can't say that. You can't say that. Whether it is 50K or 1K or $1 or 1 paisa, you have to have the backup paper attached to the transaction posted in ERP. But when it comes to the reconciliation, you need not attach that backup paper. You can attach the backup paper only for those transactions over and above 100K. Maybe that is what your policy says, reconciliation policy says. Right? So, threshold is very important. What is that your reconciliation policy says about the threshold? If threshold says 50K and above, so every reconciliation you have to go through and see whether the line item value exceeds beyond 50K. It's your responsibility to attach backup paper to that. If the threshold says 100K, you have to attach the backup paper for more than 100K. So please go through the reconciliation policy. What reconciliation policy says? If the reconciliation, you have to follow attaching the backup papers as defined in our reconciliation policy. So this is very important. So what I'm trying to say here is backup papers to be attached to the respective line items subject to the threshold time defined in the reconciliation. Next, all backup papers received at the time of posting journal entry to be kept in the appropriate folders. Here, before talking about this question, I just wanted to highlight one point. Where are you preparing the reconciliation? Do you have a reconciliation tool in place? Well and good. You just go to that particular journal entry in an ERP, download that backup paper, attach it to the line item in the respective tool. You don't require to maintain any separate folders because you have a reconciliation tool. You know the transaction is already posted. You just go to that ERP, download that backup paper and attach it to this. If you do not have any tool for preparing the reconciliations and you are preparing the reconciliation in Excel sheet, in Excel sheet, how do you prepare? You extract the line items from the SAP, the GL line items from the SAP. Then you start doing tick and tie, identify which are those identifiable items, and you classify them as I said previously, open item, recorded item, and unreconciled item. And you start attaching backup papers to that each line item subject to threshold. When you are preparing the reconciliation Excel sheet, every line item you have to go to SAP, download that backup paper, save it somewhere, and attach it to or embed to the Excel sheet. Then your Excel sheet size will be very huge. You cannot attach those many backup papers to your Excel sheet. Instead, what you can do is you can create folders in your respective either local drives or SharePoints. You can create respective folders. For example, if I am preparing reconciliation for January, you can create a folder called January. Within January folder, you can create fixed assets, another folder, current assets, another folder, current liabilities, equity. You can create different folders. Go to fixed assets folder. Again, whatever accounts you prepare as a part of fixed assets, you can do with the respective accounts. You can save those backup papers. So if you could do that, you can just give that hyperlink in your Excel sheet. You don't require to attach or embed that backup paper to the Excel sheet. You just go and link it, give a hyperlink in Excel sheet, and submit your reconciliation. As an auditor, if I want to go through the backup paper, I'll just go and click on the hyperlink. It will take me through the respective folder. From there, I can see what is the backup paper. If you are having a reconciliation tool, well and good. That reconciliation tool will allow you to pick up the documents from the SAP and you can attach it there. There are many tools in the market. One of the best tools which I can right now think about it is Blackline. Fantastic tool. Blackline has 3 components, whatever I spoke previously. Open item, they call it as open item, recorded item, and unreconciled item. All the 3 components are there. I think you would have seen list components. So these are all already defined there. You just need to go and select that particular button. Then it will automatically classify whether it is an open item or recorded item or unreconciled item. You can put the document reference number. You can attach to that the respective line item. So it's a fantastic tool. There are many other tools. I'm not a promoter of Blackline here. Just wanted to let you know, since I already worked in Blackline, I know how good it is. So you can, whoever is using the tool, they just go and attach the backup paper to the respective line items and submit. So when you are preparing the reconciliation in the Excel sheet, you cannot embed so many documents in the Excel sheet. Hence, it is always better to maintain the respective folders and keep those backup papers in the respective folders. While keeping those backup papers in the respective folders, it is always better to follow the respective nomenclature. What do you mean by nomenclature here? You cannot just let that go and attach the backup paper. Tomorrow what will happen? It is very difficult for you to identify which backup I need to embed here. You should have a respective folder, number one. For example, prepaid expenditure. There will be an account code for prepaid expenditure. For example, prepaid, it depends on each company. Again, don't question me on that. Let us say one company follows one series for assets. See, 101001 is prepaid expenditure account. I'm just taking an example. So 101001 should be your starting. Then the description underscore prepaid underscore put the document number. This should be the right nomenclature. You are keeping the prepaid expenditure GL account number underscore prepaid expenditure. You are talking about the description as well underscore document reference number and saving the document. So tomorrow when you are preparing the reconciliation, how easy it is. You just go to the respective folder, you know the document reference number, you just go based on the document reference number, you pick up that and you can give that document as an evidence to the auditors. You can give the same hyperlink to the reconciliation. Anybody wants, they can go click on that hyperlink and they can go through that the backup paper. That is how you need to prepare your respective folders to identify the backup papers. Very, very important, guys. Right? So how important is backup papers, you understood, right? Once you prepare the reconciliation within the timeline specified, anyway I'm going to talk about those topics as well, maybe in my next video. But without having or attaching the backup papers, your reconciliation is not complete. You have to make sure that your backup papers are attached and they are readily available for the auditors to review any point of time. So this is the importance of backup papers. I hope I made it very clear the importance of backup papers. If you like the content, I request you to like the video, subscribe my channel, and also share this video with your friends and colleagues. Right? Thank you so much.